Hi,
Okay. Hi,
Gimmie.
Mel. First off, the legend from the six. Okay.
Oh
First
boy.
off, listen, got to clap it up because first off, I will say this. Number one, um, as a fan base, I do think everything that you just said has been echoed. It's a big echo across several platforms of, hey, some of these things, especially like you said, the fan base, or not necessarily the entire, but there's a lot of people that love you, Mel, and support both sides, both the hot and bothered as well as your role on the JVP. But what I
Hmm.
do want to say though is what was because I don't want to breeze past what's going on now because Mel,
Hmm. Hmm.
there is something happening right now, and I don't know. Did you hear? Your name, full name, actually, outside of your middle, was mentioned in a in a song on a specific artist from Toronto's collab album,
I don't know if you
and
guys
Hmm.
know him.
I don't know. His name is Drake.
I,
Mm.
And
oh, I think I've heard of him. Yeah,
yeah,
I think that
yeah.
once or twice.
And
Yeah.
Very
it's
up
it's
and
it's
coming. Very
actually
up and
on
coming.
it. Listen, it's on the fan favorite song on the album called "Give Me a Hug," and
Hmm.
he says, "Melissa Ford, legend from the six," and
Yeah.
then rattles on and says, "Sad that she would a dick sucker," something like that. But let's just say
Something like
sad that
that.
she
I
messed
don't
with a dick
know.
sucker, something like that. But
Hmm.
let's focus on that, Mel. What we saw
Hmm.
your reaction on the pod. It was very cutesy, very demure,
Demure.
very, very mindful,
Hmm.
Always
very
classy.
cutesy, very demure. Because
Hmm.
you say, oh yeah, two, three, four, five times. This who could keep track of how many times people shout me out because I am a legend. But what was when
Yeah.
you heard it wherever you were, whether it was Valentine's Day morning, whether it was at midnight, whether somebody texted you, like what was the reaction? Who hit you up? What was your first feeling when you heard your name on that part of the song?
The first time I heard the song was when Joe played it.
Oh wow! So we
Sitting
got
right
live
that was the
reaction.
that was the first time that I had heard it. And the guys, they were like, "We know you've heard the song." I said, "I promise you, I have not." Look, I have a process when I wake up in the morning on pod days. Like I wake
Hmm.
up at the I spend the last minute that I can in bed. So, and then I get up,
Hmm.
I go turn on the shower, I turn on the coffee maker, I put on a podcast, like Hidden Brain, because I have to mentally prepare for the day. And that's how I do it. And I never, ever, ever, ever stray from that pattern and that routine. I never listen to music in the morning.
Hmm.
Ever. It's just not my thing. Unless I'm going to the gym, then I'm not listening to music. I'm listening to a podcast. It's how I put my makeup on and get myself ready for the day. And then I leave to work, and I'm usually like, within seconds of being late to work. So I truly had not heard the song. I did wake up and see a shit ton of text messages.
Hmm.
I said, "Wait, what the fuck is going on?" And then through my bleary-eyed vision, I saw, my girlfriend, basically all caps screaming, "Drake mentioned you in a fucking song." And I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh my
You a
God, what did he
legend from the
say?"
six. Okay.
That was not what I thought he was going to say.
Well, I don't know why. Mel,
but that's
please.
genuinely when I tell you so, Mel. Like, not that you need a reminder, but sometimes we do. Let me not say that. Sometimes people do need reminders. We're human, right?
Hmm.
What I think ends up happening is people. This is what I genuinely believe. People get way too common. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? With uncommon people, right?
Hmm.
And I think maybe it's because, people hilariously say that lady.
Hmm.
And you can meet up, Mel. Carlos, you know who the fuck Melissa Ford is. Stop playing. Like, you are of age. We all know who. Stop saying that lady. Okay,
Hmm.
we know who Melissa Ford is. Like, that is a name, right?
Hmm.
But I do think, like you said, in a moment where Drake, because he could have, said
Hmm.
something smart. He could
Hmm.
have been a bit more, because we know the jokes, we know the digs, we know kind of like the insider little things that have tried to that have been mentioned or tried to be hinted at on the pod. He could have went, petty. The pettiness went in a different direction, and there was honor and homage to you. So how
Mm-hmm.
did it make you feel? I know it probably caught you off guard, and like you said, your reaction was what we saw in the pod. But like, how does that make you feel, especially in a moment like you said where there probably is a lot of criticism and you're just coming off the heels, we don't have to get into it, but off the heels of kind of like viral clips of you having, certain dialogue and discussions on the pod.
Christ
You're
on a cracker.
coming off, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're coming off you're coming off that, you're coming off of a first season that had, again, honestly, there were people that had certain mixed reviews, or they loved it, but then they had things, or they wanted more. There was so much that happened about Hot and Bothered that, how does it feel to just hear, again, Drake is still Drake, no matter
Yeah.
about the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there's still honor, there's still reverence, there's still, like I said, homage. Like, how does that make you feel with kind of how your year has been?
I'm gonna tell you, like, to be honest, I was just, it was, it was so fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Classic,
just
and it should be.
it was so great, and it was such a relief, honestly, because I I have been caught in crossfire before. I have,
I've seen it.
where I literally catch strays, and I'm not even talking about, whatever is transpires between Drake and anybody up there. I That's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about over the course of my career.
Mm-hmm.
I have caught strays and been in the crossfire when I didn't fucking do anything. It's just the proximity in which I'm standing next to somebody that's the
Mm-hmm.
intended target,
Right.
So and they just didn't give a shit that I just happened to be there. Like, well, she can catch it too. And I'm like, I didn't even fucking do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I have been in the talks about the beef. It's not like I've been extraordinarily like Drake friendly. I've been as objective as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, standing outside looking in, fan of both of them, just the perception, just the fans' perception. So for him to have said that, I mean, I was just like, that was the relief. And I just was like, shit, thank you. Like, that's nice to be recognized by a
Mm-hmm.
fucking legend from the six. Drake is
Mm-hmm.
one of the most famous people to ever come out of Canada. And for him to recognize me as such, because I've always felt like I was too,
And
was really,
is.
and is, thank you, is really fantastic and humbling and stuff like that. And what's strange is, like, I don't really know how people expected me to react at that very moment. What was I supposed to do? Like, I think that some people were like, "What the fuck is with this muted reaction?" I'm like, "What would you want me to do? Jump up and down? Like, oh my god, he mentioned my name!" I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, no. When have I ever been that person? That is not me. Maybe that would be your
Right.
reaction because you're not used to something like that. But the
Clock
fact of
it.
the matter is that my name has been mentioned more than once in a song. Like, and I'm not even talking about fucking Game here. I'm Lupe Fiasco, Kanye West. Like, my name has been said in songs before. So, it's like, it's wonderful when it happens, and it's wonderful when they speak highly of you.
Right.
So um that was my feeling, but and I was trying to process all at the same time. It was a lot to process, especially knowing what else I have going on in my
Mm-hmm.
life. I'm just like, this was nice, this was
Yeah.
nice.
And
I
I think
needed
that's
I
Well,
needed it.
okay. Like, and I love that. Like, and I know people will say, "Oh, but it was a slight to Joe." And it's like, yeah, but it isn't the thing that you rub in your friend's face, like, haha, I got a shout out and you got this. Like, you're not gonna rub it in anyone's face. But it does still, like, that's still your name. You're still a brand and you are still a legend from the six. So it's like, like you said, I think in the timing of life where you're at, it does feel good. Like, and we're not gonna. I don't think anybody would say differently to get a nice
Yeah,
little shout out in that moment. I think you definitely shouldn't hide. The little smirk, listen, a
yeah,
little smile. It's like, okay, this is cute. And rather than say, oh,
yeah.
please, never. People expect. And this is what I believe. I don't think that anyone has said this out loud, but it's what I believe. I believe that people that watch that pod want everybody on the pod to be Joe adjacent, meaning his thought is your thought. And because Joe may handle something a certain way, I think some fans believe that everyone should handle it in those ways, and I don't think that that's why a cast is formed, is to have everybody on the same wavelength, and we see that
I
all the
think
time, actually.
you've you've hit the nail on the head, and I don't understand why anybody would want that. Isn't the purpose of a podcast to have discourse and dialogue? Like, isn't the purpose to assemble a podcast panel of of people who have varying opinions, varying life
Mm-hmm.
experiences, so that we can, learn from each other's perspectives? Why would you want like a homogenous kind of environment where everybody's just fucking, patting each other on the back for agreeing with each other? That's fucking stupid. So I don't really understand why that's not even entertaining. So I don't understand why people would even want something like that. And let's also be clear. Drake didn't say anybody else's name, so we don't know who he's talking about in that next line. He could be talking about anybody else. So we
Oh,
could
now.
we don't know who he's talking about. We don't know who he's talking
No, we
about.
don't know, girl. And you sit betwixt two Negroes, so we
Wait,
don't
but yo,
know.
but process of
We don't know.
elimination. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We
Shout out to Joe. We
we
love
don't
Joe.
know.
But
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was dope. I know, Olivia, I don't know, you wanted to chime in on something, because I did have another question just as it relates
Go
to.
for it. Go for
So
it.
you get a shout out. We're here. You also, as Olivia said earlier, you have a movie premiering today on Lifetime. Feel about how people would receive you, again, just leaning into a moment that is yours. Like, how do you feel about someone saying, "Oh, well, now she put Drake's song in her profile"? Like, what do you think, or how would you respond to someone that would have something to say about that?
Suck a
Who?
dick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said that out loud. I'm sorry.
Wake it up now!
Okay,
No,
let
this
me
is more
just
on Mel. Period. Like, this is.
let me just put it to you like this. If one of the biggest global artists ever put your name in a fucking song, what are you gonna do? Be bashful and you're not gonna put it on your Instagram? Come on, shut up. Stop the madness. Stop acting like I have to adhere to a whole different set of fucking rules out here. Stop acting like I can't have fun and lean into something that puts me on a
Sure does.
pedestal for a second. Stop it. Leave me the fuck alone. If it bothers you so much,
Come
don't
on.
come to my fucking
Talk
leave
that
me
shit.
alone. Leave me alone. Stop acting like I have to adhere to some kind of fucking leave me alone. I don't have to adhere to shit. If what I do bothers you, get the fuck off my page. You better believe that I am going to. I was trending, for fuck's
Sure were.
sakes. You better believe I'm going to take advantage of this moment, because when the fuck do they come around? Not every day. They just don't. So, yes, this is the equivalent of a fucking bag, okay? And I'm talking about Gucci. I'm talking about a fucking
The
bag of
bag,
money.
the bag, the official
The
bag.
bag.
That's
The
right. You know,
bag.
it's so funny that you touched on that, Mel, in terms of the expectation of people. I don't know. I've been in rooms, I've heard people almost have these unrealistic expectations of, oh, well, she shouldn't act like that, or she needs to behave like this, or, and I don't know if it's because you're the only woman on the show, or
It
I
is.
don't, I don't know if it's because they are not familiar with, I don't know what is happening with a lot of
It's a
people out here.
combination. Combination.
It is a combination, but Mel, the unrealistic expectations of how you, as a very grown woman, should be behaving, and not just a very grown woman, but you are a legend, Mel. You're a legend. And this is not, like I said, I'm folding laundry tonight. You have a movie premiering. We're not the same.
You're so sweet. You're
That's
so
very
sweet.
true.
That's very nice of you to say. But it's the truth. Like, I don't think that the the same criticism or expectation is that the guys are held to the same standards, even close. like the respectability politics that get placed on my shoulders. Like, I can't win for losing. It's either I'm not sexy enough, I'm too sexy, I'm too old, I'm too something. I'm always too something. Somebody is going to have something to say. If you do, like I said, I'll go back to, if you are committed to misunderstanding me, then you are not my people. You're not my
Yes.
tribe.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
for
Yes.
you. I'm not for you, because the people who like me, the people who are supporters of me, the people who are like, yes, Mel, yes, they see through, like, it's like they see they're like, this is a grown ass woman who's living a really great life by all like appearances, but she's also somebody who's gone through a lot of fucking shit in front of the public eye. Like, give her a goddamn break. Can you let her enjoy her moments when she gets them?
Mm-hmm.
Why do people feel like they
Nitpick.
have to shit on your moments? It's mine. Fuck off. I don't get that. I have never been the type of person that wanted to shit on somebody else's moment. Yo, live that shit up. Enjoy it. How can I help you celebrate this
Mm-hmm.
moment? It's great. It says so much about you when you cannot let somebody have their moments or just lead their lives without intrusion. It says so much
It
about
does.
you than it does about me. Just think about what you're projecting onto me. Look inside yourself. That's a problem that a lot of people seem to have, is they do not have any self-awareness, and they do not know how to do any kind of self-analysis, because a lot of the problems that you have with other people is really the problems that you won't acknowledge within yourself, and you project that shit onto others. Everybody's a fucking mirror. Everybody. And if you have problems with people, it's just the mirror reflecting back on you. Do the fucking work, people. Do the
I know that's
work.
right, Mel.
And full circle, when I asked you earlier about the mental and the emotional preparation that it takes for you to arrive at a moment such as this, that what you were just saying, that is the kind of work that it takes to be able to arrive at a grateful moment. So right now there's a lot of amazing things going on for you. Even just today itself, there's a lot of amazing things happening for you. Are you like going so fast that you don't even have a moment to really say like wow, or are you really living in the wow?
I'm living in the wow. I'm living in the wow. Like, I was late to Twitter Spaces because I was talking to the CEO of the American Urban Radio Network, who they literally love the podcast, as tiny as it is, as flawed as the first season was. They were like, we fucking love what you're
Yep.
doing, and we want to partner up with you. And this is a massive company that's been around for 50 years. Yes, for 50 years. And they have the resources and reach that these people have is intimidating. It's mind-blowing. I'm like, whoa, you guys really like my podcast? Okay, cool. Let's run with this. And so now I'm in a position where I get to really kind of expand on what I thought second season was going to look like. Originally, I just felt like I was going to be self-funded again,
Mm-hmm.
and I was putting together my set, and that was really what it was going to be, and I was going to be able to get, some bigger guests and whatever else, and I was still just going to keep on trucking.
Mm-hmm.
But things have changed in a really at a really fast pace, with some incredible people. And the CEO is a Black woman. When I say I walked in that room and instantly gave her a hug because I was so shocked to just see her standing there, and I just instantly felt this connection to this woman. Her name is Chesley Maddox. She's just so fucking incredible. So we were just talking at length about just the process, the event that we're going to have, and how we are going to make second season, really really successful, and all the people that are going
Absolutely.
to be hired to be
I know that's right.
tools, cogs in the machine. And I'm just, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, like, to be honest, I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking or reading comments of people who feel like they don't like me, hate me, or think that I shouldn't be on the pod because you're irrelevant. I don't like block, delete, block, delete, block, delete. I go on about my life, don't even think about you. But what I will do is I'll go to your profile beforehand just to make myself feel better that you really should not be talking
listen,
to me right now. You
Mel.
really should shut the
Now let me
fuck
tell
up.
you something,
So
Mel. That's that fire sign. Scorpio fire sign,
no, it's a
water
water
sign.
sign,
But
but
that's the
I'm also
spicy in
I
you,
was
okay?
also I was also born in the year of the dragon, so
Okay.
I'm a fire
Keep it
breathing
Okay,
dragon
going.
Scorpio.
Unleash the
Mel,
dragon.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
hold you. There is definitely a side of me that feels like before I get you up out of here, I just got to see the materials. And whoa, the materials don't be materializing sometimes. Okay,
not
it
even a little
just
bit.
don't ever pan out. But welcome to the stage, Dory. Some girl, how are you?
Hi, Dory.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
Oh, so
Great.
good. We're having a girly space with the T Dot's very own, the Legend of the
Hmm.
Six.
And
So
if
the
anybody has
legend.